going on at some length there.
Yeah, some of these things are almost still being made, right? Eventually the shell edge, this edgeware becomes really popular and then it goes out of vogue.
You need a break.
These sort of edgeware, yeah, shell edge.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where, all these pieces that you say are from perhaps even different parts of the Carolinas or maybe a little bit south, do you think that the people were here using or making this, or do you think it washed here, or
No, I
what
mean,
do you think?
the Native American pottery, it's being made here. It's just the styles are made across broad areas of the South.
Yeah, where is here?
You mean Dewey's Island?
Yeah, they're probably Native Americans making pots on Dewey's Island at the time
living
and living here. Yeah, they would come. You know, they're probably not living here all year round. You know, but people are coming back and
They
forth.
had a,
And
We
moving.
were
they had
here.
a northern, they had a northern.
Full time.
Yeah, so, you know, they probably moved from. I mean, we think that there's some thought that people are moving from all the way from the fall line, from around Columbia to the coast, and back and forth, and that might be so earlier on. But I think there's too many people for that to happen as you begin to come forward. Maybe the time of this early pottery, those guys might be that mobile that they're able to move that far. And certainly before that, there aren't that many people, and you have, you know, these guys are, before that, they're much more hunting oriented, you know, hunter-gatherers, and you know, and there's not as many people, so you can move around more. And so there's a lot of movement from, say, the fall line to the coast. And the coastal plain in between doesn't present as many resources as either the coast or the fall line. Right? There would be big expanses of just longleaf pine with very little else there. And once you're up, you know, say, kind of like what Orangeburg is like now, you know, it would have been that way. Yeah, these huge interior pine forests wouldn't have been, there's not as many resources, so you're not going to spend
Basically,
a lot of time.
I think those were all deep sand areas, weren't they? I mean, they had very little in the way of nutrients in the soil
Well,
or
the
anything
soils,
else.
yeah, are pretty
Yeah.
deep.
It was just
But,
beach to dune.
Deep,
yeah,
deep,
I mean,
deep
everything
sand.
from here to Columbia at one time was the beach, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all marine deposits,
Yeah.
you know, that formed billions of years ago and have come forward to now, but, you know, eventually there are too many people for that kind of movement. You're just going too far. So, these folks are just moving in much shorter ranges, you know. They may move from here, go to the interior. I don't know when you'd want to be in the interior. In the middle of the winter. I mean, we know that the Indians who lived on the coast of Georgia, the Wally, is what they were called, and the Yamasee moved in with them. Those guys, when the Spanish arrived, they would live. They lived out on the coast in large groups of people. They starting in the spring, and they would plant corn, and they would stay with the corn where they had planted their corn in large groups through the summer until they harvested the corn. Then they would put it up, and then they would disperse into family groups and go out into the interior through the winter and hunt deer and live, you know, in small little family groups all through the winter. And then in the spring they come back, live off the corn, plant corn, and live off their stored corn, fishing and taking shellfish until the corn harvest comes in again, and then they take that in, store it up, and then they go back out once more. So you have this sort of coming and going in these groups, you know, and at one time of the year there's hundreds of people living very close together, and the rest of the year, you know, 8, 10 people maybe in a group moving around.
How long ago was Columbia beachfront?
I need some 30 million years ago.
Or 20 million.
Yeah. I don't quite remember that. I know that one of those ridges way in there is 20 million years ago, but I don't know if it goes all the way there.
So the moisture middens that are everywhere, when did that start?
Well, I mean, these guys, the Tom Street people, they're building these big shell rings, so they're collecting oysters in great masses and consuming
That's
it.
one of the original shell.
Yeah, but there were probably people living here before that, but the ocean was much farther east. And if you lower sea level, and even at the time that Tom's Creek guys are here, 4,500 years ago, 3,500 to 4,500 years ago, sea level was about 10 feet lower than it is now. So,
If you get that back.
well, if you could get rid of the ocean, you could, yeah. So that means, you know, if you move sea level 10 feet, you're going to move the beach several miles. I mean, DeWeese was probably not an island, you know, in the sense that it is now. You know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this would have been, you know, it'd have been connected to the mainland probably. There may have been there would have been rivers and creeks that are still cutting through it. But by about 5,000 years ago, the modern islands begin to take shape and the estuaries are all formed. And so that last 10 feet really is what, you know, begins to come in. So that's the reason that we see people gathering shellfish and oysters, especially here, from that time forward, but that's because, you know, the whole shoreline is farther east and it's under the ocean for anyone who's doing it before. There are sites in other parts of the country where people are harvesting shellfish 10,000 years ago. So, you know,
So
it's a
you're saying
resource.
we have to dig under the water?
Yeah, you have to go under the ocean to get to all this stuff. And
Because do you think that all those sandbars out there maybe were once islands?
Mhm.
And now they're just,
Yep,
you know,
exactly.
a few million years, DeWeese will be a sandbar.
Yeah, or less. Yeah.
So the thing that changed that
Or
ocean
it
level
could
back
be-
then was definitely global warming.
Mainland again, just-
Yeah, well, there's a major warming event. But, yeah. You know, the Earth was warming. You know, they were coming out of at about, well, the last major glacial period was about 100,000 years ago begins, and that was one of the most intense, if not the most intense, cooling period, right? So the glaciers in the northern hemisphere expand dramatically, and the ocean is taken up into the glaciers. Basically, I mean, yeah.
And now it's
I mean,
going back.
glacial periods, it's colder, but there's increased precipitation, right? So that, yeah, you get a lot of evaporation out of the ocean, the water's then put onto ice and it freezes before it can get back. So sea level goes down dramatically. And we're talking, yeah, like by 15,000 years ago, we're talking sea level was, darn, I should know this. I just wrote this somewhere. Like 100 meters, you know, I mean,
Wow.
Lower?
lower, yeah.
Wow.
And so yeah, the ocean, the shoreline then was 100 miles east of here. You know?
Wow.
So yeah, we would be like Orangeburg at that time.
Oh, wow.
So
That far?
yeah,
At one
yeah,
time, the waves
Yeah.
broke in Columbia too,
yeah,
right?
right. At one time, the ocean was there, but that was a long time ago. But yeah,
Wow.
so were there people here? You know, by 15,000, there might be people around. Yeah, then suddenly, yeah, there's this huge warming trend. The glaciers begin to go away. Sea level begins to rise, and that trend continues until about. I think it slowed down. Then there was a peak again about 6,000 years ago. There's a really warm period, and then it came back down to sort of normal.
We had the Dark
temperatures, you know,
Ages
now.
too, which was a
Right.
cooling period.
And there's been these little mini things, like there was one year, 1788, there's no summer in Europe that year, and but those are weird little fluctuations. But yeah, we're in this warming trend right now, and so sea level is continuing to rise. Who knows where it stops? It turns around. Does it go the other way again? I don't know.
Can you tell me about the